Welcome to Entrepreneur Conundrum with Virginia Purnell, where growing entrepreneurs share how they get visible online.
Hey everyone! Today I'm joined by Michael Uadiale, a successful serial entrepreneur and practicing CPA and the founder of SMEED CPA. Michael is passionate about teaching people how to understand and use the tax code as a tool to build real wealth and move faster towards financial freedom. He's known for breaking down complex money and tax topics into clear, practical steps you can actually apply. Welcome, Michael.
My pleasure. Thank you. I'm excited to be on your show today.
Me too. So, how was your journey? How'd you get from point A to where you are today?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. I'll say, first of all, I give the credit looking back many decades now to my own dad. He was an entrepreneur. I think back to all of what he did when he did them in his time. I am blown away. So I think that was where I got the bug to become an entrepreneur, right? Because my dad had so many, he was the first in many kind of businesses that he did in his generation. And I think one of the things he was really great at doing was just putting us to work very early in the various business. So it was only a natural thing for me not to stay too long in a 9 to 5 job. It just was something that was in my DNA. I don't know if that answers the question. I could go deeper in terms of why I ended up being a CPA and a practicing CPA. That's some very personal story that has also informed why I do what I do for clients.
So, what do you do for clients?
I really, and I take this very seriously, I truly make that the mantra and the centerpiece of what we do, which is really helping clients get to a place where they can truly get to their financial freedom goals at least 5 to 7 years faster than the average person. And you may want to ask, how do we do that? We do that by really helping them to find legal, ethical, and moral ways to reduce their tax obligation. Because the reality is, for most business owners, taxes is a major drag on their cash flow. Okay. And if you can truly leverage the tax code in the way the government genuinely wanted business owners to, you will take yourself out of what I call a tax jail, with which most people are in for between 13 to 18 years. See, because when you really look at it, when people are not doing serious tax planning, what is really happening is that for every 8-hour day of productivity that you get, you put in at least 2 hours, 36 minutes of each of that day's work in paying the tax guy. If you take that over 30 years plus of the average work life, you can understand why I say most people are in a tax jail between 13 to 18 years of their life. Okay, but it does not need to be so. So that's really my passion, and that's what I bring to bear on everything we do in our practice.
So, is it personal or corporate?
It's both, but we really don't work with individuals who are not entrepreneurs. And the reason for that is because you got to be in business to really leverage the tax codes, right?
Okay.
If you are just a W-2 wage earner, meaning somebody who the only way you make money is you go to a job, they pay you for that job 9 to 5, you are already, unfortunately, in a losing game because the tax code is not written to favor you. Unfortunately, that's just the reality. So yes, we do personal tax returns, but our goal is leveraging businesses and using it to make the business owners get rich.
Gotcha. So, are you state specific or is it nation specific?
We are not state specific. Our entire team, they are all remotely working all over the country. Yes, we do have 3 brick and mortar offices, one in Atlanta, one in Houston, Texas, and one in California. But every one of our team members, except 2, work remotely. Now, we serve nationwide. Anybody. We've been remote since 2020, since the start of COVID. We've never really gone back to that office setting. We have more clients than we really need. We are very discriminatory or selective in how we choose our clients because at this point, we want to be sure that whoever comes in as a client is somebody we are a great fit for. It has nothing to do with the state that you are. It has to do more with, can we bring value to you?
So who's your ideal client?
Great question. So that's very easy for us. Our ideal client falls into 2 broad industries. One, people who are in the real estate industry, in whatever spectrum you may be in, because real estate is one of the most popular ways by which people get to their goals of financial freedom. So that's one of the areas that we have become really expert at. In fact, we've designed and developed an app that is going to be used by real estate professionals. That app, we're just waiting for Apple to give the full approval. Should be out any day now. Now, the second space that we work very seriously in is the home health care industry. Business owners in that space, many of them do some very great work because they work mostly with adults with disability and all kinds of health issues. But they are passionate about their work, but many of them really don't know how to use the tax code in a way that can really make them get financially free from all of the work they do. So those are the 2 broad categories of industries or niches that we focus on.
So how do you get in front of those people?
That's a great question. So just so you know, I just finished completing a book. I got the manuscript out to the publisher just 2 days ago. The book is titled The Disability CEO Playbook. And what that book is all about is just helping people in that space to truly know how to move from whatever level they are in that line of business to becoming extremely successful. Now, I do go to quite a lot of trade shows, conventions where many of these kind of business owners they congregate. So I'll be in the next one somewhere in San Diego. I do quite a lot of public speaking because I think money follows value. I'm not trying to sell anybody anything, to be honest. I am more interested first to be able to be of service, give you value. Now, people who will appreciate that value, they will be people that will gravitate naturally to you. But if you just go into somebody and try to sell them something, you are just another salesman and nobody knows what that is.
Is there a common misconception that you've noticed that people have when they first start working with you?
I wouldn't use the word common misconception. I think, unfortunately, lots of clients come in with, maybe common misconception, maybe an appropriate description. I think based on what we say and all what we communicate to prospects, leads before they turn to become clients, many of them have been so used to paying the amount of taxes they've been paying for however long they've been paying those amounts that sometimes many of them genuinely worry for the first 1 or 2 years as to whether or not what we're doing is legal and ethical. And I'm always upfront with that there are 3 mantras that drives anything we're doing for clients. It got to be legal, it has to be ethical, it has to be moral. I am not playing in the gray area, okay? In fact, when we started practice some 19 years ago, we used to have a slogan, don't gamble with your taxes. I'm not gambling with taxes. I think what most business owners have just been unfortunate with, they have not learned or have not had the experience of working with great tax advisors who are proactive in helping them plan what their end tax results should look like. So when you start saying, oh, I can save you anywhere from 10, 20, 30, or whatever the amount of taxes you can save a business owner, many of them, first of all, come with some level of trepidation until maybe 2, 3 years later, they come to find out that, oh, okay, it was just a case of whoever I was working with before wasn't paying enough attention or stuff like that. So that I would say is a major misconception.
Okay, so there's this tax bill that's got lots of nice repeated acronym letters. So like OBBA.
Right.
Did you want to talk about that one at all?
Oh, yeah. The tax bill came out July 4th last year. The OBBA stands for One Big Beautiful Bill Act, right? Which is great. So yeah, it's a mouthful, but I'm excited about it, just like most professionals in our space are. And the reality is, the reason why I'm excited about it is really it's a roadmap to wealth building for a business owner. Never in the history of this country's tax codes and all of that have there been a roadmap of many things that business owners can truly, truly use to reduce their taxes. Of course, for people who are especially in the real estate space, this whole idea of having 100% bonus depreciation is huge because that could really make a whole lot of difference. And again, this is exactly going to prove my point, which I've been speaking on in the last 6, 7 years, that taxes, they are just the government's way of incentivizing behavior. That's all it is. I get it. People just have this misconception that, oh, the government is out to get me. No, the government is not. The government uses taxes as a way to get us as business owners to drive money or drive capital to the areas that the government wants money to go into. That's what taxes are. And so, as a business owner, if you understand that and you play by the rules, you are going to find that what is going to happen to you is the government literally begins to subsidize a lot of the things you're doing in a legal and ethical manner. So the OBBA, it's an exciting new game plan. And I am literally saying to any client who cares to listen, you need to leverage this to the very best of the ability that we have, because it may not always be so. There are just very significant changes in the bill that we've never had before. I just talked about the 100% bonus depreciation. Section 179 was increased. Estate planning annual exemption amounts moved up. All of those things are huge things that used to be a source of stress to us in the tax planning community. So things got quite a lot easier than it used to be. So business owners should not just go about their business as usual, right? They need to really be sitting down with a good tax advisor who truly understands their business. It's important. It just be a way that people just work with any CPA. Heaven forbid, if anybody is having a brain problem, they're not going to see a GP. They're going to be meeting with a brain surgeon or something like that. It's no different from our profession. I don't want to be a jack of all trades. I don't want to work with every person that comes my way. I want to work with people in a space that I am an expert in. So business owners should be sitting with whoever they know is a good fit for their kind of business. Somebody that knows the business and be able to tell you, hey, here are the things in the tax code that are relevant to this business that you should be leveraging now. So yes, the OBBA is a great thing. It's an exciting thing. And anybody who genuinely wants to get to the point of financial freedom faster, you should figure out how to leverage it.
Is it possible to get to a zero tax bracket?
The answer is yes. Now, it's a journey. Let's be clear about that. It's a journey. I don't care if you're going to go by a bullet train or a plane or a bike or you walk. If you're moving from point A to point B, it doesn't happen instantaneous or in the twinkle of an eye, right? Getting to zero tax planning or getting to a zero tax bracket, it's not a mythical thing. It needs you designing the structures. And that's why for us, we have a 6-step process that we take our clients through. I don't know if you have our material to that effect. That's why we have the DECIDE, the decide. It's a 6-step process. One of the very fundamental things in that 6-step process is the entity, the type of structure that you set up, that you use to run your business. There are great people who have made billions of dollars who ended up paying zero taxes because these were people who really understood how to design and architect entity structures in a way to end up with zero taxes. But you're not going to do that overnight, okay? And it's not going to be for everybody, okay? But if I'm going to answer that your question, the answer is absolutely yes. Legally, ethically, morally. Remember that.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could get to 0 points.
All right. What about building wealth that outlasts us?
Oh, again, the answer is absolutely yes. You are asking the same question in a different dimension. It's all about the entity structures. I did a webinar last week, Wednesday, which I titled The Rockefeller Blueprints. What was I teaching about on that 50 minutes webinar? All I was just communicating to my audience was, look, how did the Rockefeller family over 6 generations, one of them built wealth, but he put in place the right entity structures, right? That has allowed that wealth to continue to remain in the family, almost 100% tax-free, and it's been passed on from generation to generation for 6 generations. 90% of wealth, by the time it gets to the 3rd generation, it's gone. The reason why that is the situation is people are not putting in place the right entity structures. So the short answer to your question is, if you use the right kind of life insurance policies and the right type of trust instruments, then you can have wealth in perpetuity moving from one generation to generation. If your listeners care to know, there are what is called dynasty trusts. These are things that are set up that allows you to move money from generation to generation legally. There are no need to play any games here. And those money move, and there is no taxes when it moves from one generation to generation. So anybody listening should go Google or check out dynasty trusts. Places like South Dakota, Nevada, they have things like that. How do you sustain the wealth from generation to generation? With the right kind of insurance policies, it just continues. It's self-sustaining. So the answer to that is it's not a mystical thing for anybody to think it's impossible.
So like trust funds and holding companies and operating companies and stuff.
Oh, yeah. There's no one size fits all. This is exactly why you got to be talking with somebody who truly know what they're doing. Secondly, is a master in your space. Thirdly, you got to be playing for the long game. Unfortunately, people only look at taxes when it's April 15th. Oh my God, it's getting right. So that's your interaction or relationship with your CPA. You already lost the game. I'm serious about that. People need to understand that. You already lost a game where the rules of the game have long been set. You should be having that kind of at least 4 to 6 meetings a year with your tax advisor. Here's one thing I've learned in 19 years of business. The ultra wealthy, they don't take their tax bill on the face value. Everything that they do, they are talking to me as the advisor way before they are doing that thing, because that's the only way they can keep more of what they're making. Anybody can make money, but wealth is your ability to keep more of that money and be able to protect it from the tax guy legally, protect it from crazy folks out there who want to sue you for any frivolous thing, and stuff like that. That's how wealth is designed and built.
So or is it better for me to talk to a financial planner or an accountant, or does it matter my situation or who I'm talking to?
I always say to our clients that wealth building is a team sport. What that means is if you are very serious about building wealth and having financial freedom that can translate into generational legacy, you're going to need a team of experts. One of them is a CPA. In a perfect situation, if you have the right CPA, he or she likely should be your quarterback to coordinate all of your other advisors. And one of those advisors should or can be a financial advisor. So that's important. So the answer is at the beginning, you should have at a minimum a CPA who is a great tax advisor. Now, as your wealth begins to grow, the CPA may not have or be an expert in the area of money management. Then that becomes needful. We as a practice, we believe in collaboration. Our client is a mutual client, and we want to surround the client with the right team of people, a great attorney, a great financial advisor. If that client is somebody in the real estate space, he or she should have a good financing bank. So it's not when he needs to buy a property, he's running around trying to get funding to buy it. So my point to you is, the answer is have experts in the various key areas that are important to your wealth growth.
Okay. Thank you.
Hope this helps.
Yes. All right. What is the best advice you have ever received?
Whew. Best
Ever.
advice.
Okay.
Yeah, I can tell you. The best advice I have ever received is understanding that wherever I am today is a combination of all of my past habits, behavior leading up to today. So when you take a look at it, just even from a point of physical fitness or financial well-being, every one of our physical well-being for most people is a combination of our diet, our exercise regimen, and our rest and our stress level. All of those things are a combination of what we do day to day that leads up to what we are today. When you look at your bank account, it should tell you a story about your financial discipline on a day-to-day basis. So that's the best advice I have ever gotten. And I really try my very best to live by it. So I take every day as like, this is the day only I have, and I try to maximize it.
So, how do you minimize stress and maximize rest?
Hmm. I don't internalize things. I mean, our job is high stress. There's no doubt about that. I've worked on a particular very wealthy client's income tax audit since June 2024, right? I'm just about to close that audit out. We're talking of millions of dollars at stake. And it could be stressful, but one of the things I have learned to do is not to internalize all of that. When I'm on my desk, I will give everything I'm doing my very best shots, right? But when I choose to turn the clock off, I go have fun. I go be a husband. I go be a dad. I go be a granddad. I go be a friend. I watch movies. I watch basketball. So there are things that makes me human. I take my son's dog for a walk. All of those things are a totality of what gives me that ability to distress.
Good to know. Good. Practice what you preach, right?
Oh, yeah, it's very important.
All right. What's the best advice you've ever given?
My best advice I've ever given, and I continue to give every day, is the need to be intentional. And I learned this, funnily enough, from a client. I think that was about 6 years ago. He's a software developer. I don't know, I was chatting with him one day and I said, hey, what would you have done differently? He said, look, as a software developer, if he's to do it all over again, he will spend more time thinking through before he just goes into coding. So my best advice for clients or whoever comes around me is to be intentional in everything we do. Yes, there are accidents in life, but like I said earlier on, a lot of who we are is driven by our level of intentionality.
All right. I think we've covered a few different things. Is there something that we haven't talked about that you wanted to touch on?
No, it's your show. I just let you roll with it and I can keep answering your questions as much as you have them to give.
All right. Well, where can we go to learn more about you and what you're doing and to get your new book that just came out?
Again, like I said, the book is titled The Disabilities CEO Playbook. It's really a playbook because it's a book that needs to be read from not just cover to cover, but one that you should take every topic or chapter that you think is relevant to your business and just drill deep. And I built in a lot of tools. Yes, you will need to send an email somewhere for us to give you access to all of those tools. So that's the book. To reach me, we do have an email address that our marketing rep kind of monitors. That email address is taxes@smeedcpa.com. TAX, X as in Xerox, ES, S as in Sam, at SMEED CPA, SMEED CPA.com. If you send your email there, it definitely will get to me. Our marketing person may email you back and just ask a couple of questions, and they set up a discovery call. Again, we believe money follows value. We'll talk with you. If we're not the greatest fit for you, we'll let the person know. We want it to be a mutual thing. We are not like just trying to find the next client. No, that's not where we are at this stage of our business. We're trying to make sure we're giving our very best to clients who also have need for that level of excellence and expertise.
Will you have your book on audio?
I've not thought about that, Virginia. But now that you are saying that, I will look into that. That's a challenge.
There are tools that can do it for you with your voice, so you don't have to, or any voice, so you don't have to be like carving out time to physically do it.
Oh, okay. Thanks for bringing that to me. I honestly, before this time with you, I never thought about that.
Well, something to think about now.
Yeah, it's funny that I have not thought about it. My wife do more with audiobooks than physical books. So for somebody who has a spouse that likes more of audio, I should have even been thinking about that, right? I'm not an audiobook person. I like to highlight, scribble, bend that thing over and over. So maybe that's why my brain didn't go in that direction. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Or even if you listen to it, right? And then you're like, oh, awesome. You know what? Because you can still access your resources. But then if it's like, I really want to get the book so then I can make those highlights and stuff like that, or get it more of a deeper dive into it. But I think you might hit another market with the audio aspect.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I take that seriously. So I will let the publisher know that that's a project that she needs to include on her to-do.
Sounds good. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure. I appreciate coming on your show, and we'll keep talking and stay in touch with each other.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to subscribe and leave some love through a review. And I'll catch you on the next episode.